e ele vai dar mais detalhes em breve. Só uma apresentaçãozinha, não sei se todo mundo conhece a Catran. Ela foi fundada em 1919 e em 1923 começou a fabricar antenas. Então até hoje a gente é o mais antigo e o maior fabricante de antenas do mundo, desde broadcast, celular, toda essa parte satelital, tudo a gente fabrica. A empresa hoje está com um faturamento mundial de 1,3 bilhão de euros, com aproximadamente 7 mil funcionários distribuídos no mundo inteiro. A Catran ela trabalha com toda a parte de ISO, de host compliant, tudo para o meio ambiente, toda essa parte a gente faz. Essas são as áreas que a gente atua, né? Então tem a parte satelital, a parte de HFC, a parte automobilística, que fornece para BM, Mercedes, toda a parte na Alemanha, RFID, broadcast, filtros e MCA, que é a parte móvel, que são antenas celulares, etc. A Catran ela é dividida no mundo inteiro, então a gente tem uma grande sede na Alemanha, aí a gente aqui no Brasil tem a parte da Catran, Mobilcom e a Olympus, que atende a parte automobilística. A Catran no Brasil atende toda a outra parte e a Olympus atende a parte automobilística. Tá? A empresa aqui no Brasil foi fundada em 1998, tá? A gente está ali em São Paulo, na Zona Sul. A gente fabrica tudo aqui, então uma fabricação nacional, algumas coisas importadas de antenas, filtros, localizadores, toda essa parte. Tá? E a gente é responsável por atender toda a América do Sul e alguns países do Caribe também. Tá? Agora, passando a palavra para o Herbert, eu não quero perder muito tempo, ele é o chairman hoje em dia da EBU e ele vai fazer uma palestra para vocês sobre
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's a great honor for me to speak here in Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro is a very impressive city for me. It's the second time I stay here. And yesterday, with my wife, we have a city tour to Corvado and also to the Sugarloaf and the stadium for football. Yes, 2014 there's a big event, and 2016 there's also a big event, Olympic Games in Brazil. It is very impressive. And for the soccer games, 2014, yesterday I was asked who is winning the game, the soccer game, and it was very hard for me. Sometimes there are for me three favorites: Brazil, Argentina, and me also Germany. and they asked me who is winning the game. It was the question was Brazil, okay, and I was a little bit anxious what I have to answer, and I told them, okay, Brazil is winning the game. Yes, our issue today is the IMPS project in Europe, but the first step I want to speak to you what is my situation. 40 years ago, exactly 40 years ago, after studying engineering, I started at the Bavarian Broadcasting Corporation in Bavaria, in Germany. Bavaria Broadcasting Corporation is part of the public broadcaster. It's a public broadcaster systems with 9 independent broadcaster companies.
Munich?
Munich. Yes. And now we are providing, listen, 23 digital TV channels and more than up to 55 radio channels. Why 55 radio channels? A lot of radio channels. You must know we are a federal republic of Germany, and every state in Germany has its own media law, its own media company, and it's very complicated. And therefore we provide so many digital radio and TV channels. And we started our transition from analog to digital about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, to make studio facilities on digital and the terrestrial network on digital and also satellite services. In last year, in 2012, we stopped the analog satellite transmission to the audience, and now we only have on terrestrial network and satellite only digital services for TV. For radio, it's quite different. For radio, we have FM services, yes, and also we have digital satellite services, and also in Europe we have, listen, DAB, digital audio broadcast. It is running not so fast, it is going step by step, and so many customers have now equipment, radio equipment for FM and also for DAB, but also for internet access, live streaming and so on.
And terrestrial television, there's no analog anymore.
No,
we have stopped. Easter in Germany, what used to be Easter?
We have stopped in Germany. We have stopped the analog terrestrial transmission in 2008. It is finally stopped, and now we are only in digital. The problem is in Germany, we have public broadcaster like me, and we have private broadcaster. And public broadcaster and private broadcaster have a different approach. The public broadcaster have to serve everybody in the country. The private broadcaster are looking, where is my customer? Where can I serve some and earn some money and so on. And so we have a different situation in every country. In Germany, in every state in Germany, we have public broadcast services via terrestrial in digital. But the private broadcasters are serving only in the big cities. And so therefore it is very hard to move forward for terrestrial services. But I will explain what is my opinion for terrestrial services. When I started 40 years ago to be a young engineer at the Bavarian Broadcasting Services, I joined the Bavarian Broadcast Corporation in 1972. It was the Olympic Games, Summer Olympic Games in Munich. And they asked me, you are a young engineer, you want to go with us and produce TV and radio services for the Olympic Games. Yes, I went to the Bavarian Broadcast Corporation, and 40 years I was a member of the Bavarian Broadcast Corporation in different departments, in radio, in TV, production and technical services and so on. In 20 years I was director for radio, TV and multimedia production. I was a general manager, all for production, for engineering, and also for operating the terrestrial network. And the terrestrial network, it was very impressive for me. We have a lot of stations in Bavaria, in every part of in Germany. It was about 122 stations. 122 stations with for Bavaria, we have mountains. We have big mountains, and we have a lot of stations on the mountain with very big antennas. And who is serving the antennas? It was Kathrein. Kathrein, I was a customer for Kathrein. And when I retired last year, Kathrein asked me, you want to join us for senior consultant manager and so on? Yes, I told him I will do it. And also a senior consultant, not only for Kathrein, also for, do you know, a satellite company, SES Astra. It's a very big company, and also I joined them for a senior consultant and so on. And now I can combine broadcast, satellite, terrestrial, everything. And it's a very good situation for me. You know, I have 40 years experience what is doing and what is going on in broadcast. And when I started, everything was analog, And now, I think, yes, 5 years ago, everything was in production and transmitting only digital, but it was a great effort to do this. Yes, you have to discuss everything, and the main objective was how you bring your stuff from the analog production to the digital production. It's different, you know. You have a new business, you have a new workflow, and so on and so on. And in this case, I was a member also for, I have to explain, for DVB. You know DVB? It's construction, broadcaster, manufacturers and vendors and so on. And in this, I'm in the board. And we have to discuss which kind of standard for DVB-S, which kind of standards for DVB-C cable, and also for terrestrial network. In Europe we have DVB-T, and now we have also DVB-T2. It's quite similar to the standard of the Japanese people. I think in Brazil, in South America, you use a combination between the Japanese standard and the European standard. It's quite similar, I think. And DVB-T2 allows you to transmit not only TV, it is all good for radio, and is also good for multimedia services. My opinion is it is very, very important for the broadcaster to have a good service via terrestrial network. The problem is you have to discuss with mobile operators. They want to have spectrum. And you know, international there was a regulation for how to use the spectrum. And now the ITU, the International Telecommunication Union, based in Geneva, they discussed, okay, the broadcaster have spent a lot of spectrum to the mobile operators. And this is a situation in Germany, and also in Europe, of course. And our idea was how we are able to combine broadcast services with mobile services. It's very interesting. If you use internet, like I will explain to you, if you use internet, you have always a response. You have a question and there is a response and so on. It is running also on fixed line and also on mobile services. And how it is possible for a new business to combine broadcast services with mobile services. We are strong in a discussion with the mobile operators. So we have no solution yet. But I think in the next 2 years we have to find a solution. A solution for the broadcaster, and we have to make a solution also for the mobile companies. In this case, I was also involved in different projects in the EBU. What is EBU? European Broadcast Union. It is an organization. There are different public, also a little bit private broadcasters in under one roof. It is based in Geneva. There are about, in Europe we have now approximately 100 different companies that are joining the EBU. And the EBU has different approaches. One approach is how you make program, make content. The next issue is the technical issues, as my part. And the next is finance and so on and so on. Different issues. And when I was retired in February last year, I'm 66 years old now, my idea was how we can bring the members of EBU to collect information to make the process from analog to digital for every member more easier, more fruitful. It is not a very simple way, it is very complex, because the different broadcast companies have different approaches. You know, in Bulgaria it is another situation, like in Germany, in Great Britain it is different. In Great Britain you have some big BBC company, yes, and so on. And if you look to what is going on, you will see it is changing. I will give you some impressions. My presentation is now, what is the motivation for the project IPS? The initiative for this project was from me, with my experience, how we can help the other members and so on. And in the broadcast transition from analog to digital, it is not a quite simple issue, as you know. The digital change the future to dream media. What is dream media? Today we produce separate radio in a content, in a silo, and we produce TV in a different silo. And it is totally crazy. We use the content from radio and from TV to create multimedia, internet and so on. But you waste a lot of energy, you waste a lot of money. My idea was how it is possible to integrate the production for radio, TV and internet, for example, for news, for sports and anything. Not for drama, not for entertainment, this is quite different. But for news and for sports, you can bring the different issues together. I will show you. Okay, we have a very interesting situation in Europe. We have not only radio and TV and so on, but we are now serving, you have heard about HBTV, it's like smart TV and so on. We have to serve multimedia services, we have to serve DAB, we have to serve HD. Next 2 years we have to serve in 4K and anything. It is very hard for a company to do every contribution and so on. And the cost pressure is very high now. We have a very big competition, not between the broadcast companies, not between public and private broadcast companies. There's a very big competition between the press, the newspaper and so on. Why? The newspaper companies now have also archives for video. They have archives for audio. They have archives for everything. And they are very fast on the market in news, for example. If you want to know what is happening in the world, the younger people are not going to the public broadcaster and no, they go to Spiegel Online and they go to the newspaper and so on for internet. It is very, very a hard competition. And now we have a cost pressure. You know, the public broadcaster in Europe, not only in Germany, the income is not increasing. The income is maybe a little bit decreasing, and but we have to force the output. More program, more content for radio, more content for TV, and so on. Not with more people, you have to do it with less people. That's a problem. I think it's a quite similar situation in your country, in every world. And my idea was how we can integrate the different systems and so on. And we saw very rapidly, it is not only a technical problem. It is a effort for the management. If you want to change something, at first the management have to be, okay, we have to do this. We have to do this, and the way is clear. At the Bavarian Broadcasting, we started this process in 2011. I was on the board. I was on the board in 2012, and now this process is moving, and so many other countries do the same, like the BBC. like the Finland radio, like Danish radio, like in Belgium. The way is a little bit different. Of course, they have different approaches and so on, but I think in the core business, it's quite the same. And we have different parts. We have the program guys, we have the technical guys, we have the editors and so on. We have to bring them together. They have to talk together. In the past it was very easy. I was an engineer and I told them, okay, I buy this equipment and you have to work with this equipment. It's over. You have to bring the people together and to discuss with them what is the best way to do this. This is the effort, I think so. And the idea was to collect all the different information from the companies that have done this process, like PVC and so on. Yes, I told you we have very different services. We have services for the mobile devices like iPhone, like iPad. We have smartphones and so on. We have, yes, to look which kind of home network is now in the different homes, yes. You know, we have a standard now for satellite IP. What is satellite IP? It's very easy. You catch the satellite digital information, you bring it to your home server, and you are able in your home to deliver all the different devices. And the different devices, like iPhone, are able to have access to our mediatheek. What is a mediatheek? Mediatheek is you can go to a homepage of ERD or Bavaria Broadcasting Corporation, and you are able to catch some information. You can catch some documentary, you can catch news on video and so on. And we are allowed by law to do this. It was a very hard discussion. How long we are able to serve this service. Now we have, by law, it is possible if a customer have paid the fee, the broadcast fee, he is able to catch some information from the archives. He is able to catch some information from the mediatheek and so on.
Which is the capacity of this satellite IP?
Is it asking to connect you're talking about?
Yes, it's very easy. And not very easy. The satellite channel is depending, you do standard TV or HTV, it's about maybe 2 megabit, 4 megabit and so on. And if you go to the server, there's a compression. It is only possible you make a big compression. And in the way, for radio you need 100 kilo, maybe. For TV, 1 megabyte and so on. It's very easy to do. But you must have, and this is very important, you must have a standard to do this. The different devices have to understand which signal is arriving and how you can distribute it in your home network. And also we serve DAB services, I told to you, and so on. So you have to serve a lot of different services. So it's a problem. More services, more expensive. Very easy. And the next was how is media consumption in Europe. In Germany, we know it very well. We know it very well. The older people like me, they watch TV. They sit in the chair and watch TV and switch. The younger people, from 14 to 29, for example, they also watch TV, but only in a very small sector. Mostly they are going to the internet, catch some videos, catch some news, and so on and so on. And this is the challenge. How we have an answer to do this. how we can go to the younger people. And now I think we are in the right way. We have to enforce the multimedia production. And in my company, Bavarian Broadcasting Company, we have DAB and we have radio and so on and so on. But we have enforced the multimedia, the internet services. And how we want to do, I will show you a little bit later. As a member of EBU, which kind of benefits they have from this project? I told you we want to share the experience which the companies have made in this process. This process, I told you, it is very complex, yes? And we, a small group, I'm the chair of the group, went to the different companies and we have discussion with these companies. And we have a lot of presentation. If you are interested to have a look which kind of presentation, which kind of experience they have, give me your email address and I will give you an access to all these documents. Now we have about 120 different documents. It's experience what the different companies have made. Some companies have a very big experience. They spent a lot of money and the success was very low. Otherwise, you have another way, very big success and a little of course an investment. You can, if you are wrong, you can spend so many money for an invest. Use it. Okay, and we want to be in the end of 2013. We give a compression of all the different information, and we are bring this information to everybody. The EBU philosophy is we want to give every broadcast company what is our experience, what we have solutions and so on. We can give you access to these solutions and so on. And very important is also, I will speak a little bit later about to influence the industrial companies and manufacturers to make standards. You will see it is not very easy. In a broadcast systems, you may have about 90 different modules, and how they are worked together. It is a very hard work. I think you will have a lot of experience. It is not very easy to combine one module with another module. They do not understand what is going on. I think it is very helpful to create standards for the communication between the different modules. And we have now a common infrastructure how it is maybe running. And we are very hard in discussion with Sony, with different other companies, Panasonic, and so on, the main Grass Valley, and everybody. Do you remember last year, I think we have met in Sao Paulo? And I listened to different presentations. Some I understand, they were presented in English, and some presentations I saw only the picture, but it was not very hard to understand what is the problem. And this year we have also a lot of discussions at the NAB in Las Vegas to bring the different companies together and discuss, maybe have a standard for combining a system. It is a very hard work. The approaches of the companies are very different. The business is very different. But it is very hard for the broadcaster to bring them together. I think EBU can do it to start the discussions with them. Standard is necessary. It's very important to have standards. I told you we have now different silos, TV and radio and online. The next step is to combine TV and radio, and you have one communication. You have one communication line. This is the archive. The archive is very important. Mostly, they have different archives for radio, for TV, and also for multimedia. It is necessary to bring the archives together. On the one head has to declare what is the archive structure, what is going in the archive, and so on. And everybody, every editor, must have access to the archive. If there is coming content in the archive, it must be described very, very, very hard, and so on. Yes, and this is a fully integrated media platform. I think it is very helpful for us. The technical challenge for the future is integrated archives for radio, TV, and also for multimedia. Material exchange.
Do you have some information about the kind of media that has been used to archive, like say LTO5 or some server? How they, because the original media is in tape, isn't it? They have to make a copy to some data. You know, in Germany, what they are using, like the LTO or...
As of in my company, we have we have a tape archive, but mostly we have now an electronic archive with different servers. And the servers are, they have two copies. One copy for working, one copy for the archiving. The problem was, we have seen it, if you have only one system and yes, there is a failure in your system, you will be crazy. And you have to make a playout, it is not running. You have to make different copies, and you have to one copy for the workflow, and one copy for the archiving and so on. It is a very hard work archiving. The problem is also which kind of formats do you have in your archive. You have different formats. You have standard TV. You have HDTV. In Germany, it's a crazy situation. We have for HDTV 750p programs. International, you have 1080i. For my company, it is very easy. We have a lot of cooperations with other companies, with producing companies, and so on. We have made a decision. My archive is only 10,080i, but also we have copies from 750 and so on and so on. And it is very expensive to feed to your archive. You have to store it. It is growing and growing and growing and so on. That's one problem. The next problem is also the audio archive. You have different formats. We have exchange with other companies and so on. But the main source, we have made a decision for TV 1080i, and for radio, I do not remember that down. If you have a question, I will do it, and so on. You have to make one decision. The problem is not the radio and the TV archive; it is the multimedia archive. If you want to make a playout from the archive multimedia, it's different. You have you want to serve iPhone or iPad and anything else. This is the main problem, I think. Not the archiving for radio, not the archiving for TV. But you have to bring them together. That's the main. Okay, and it's very, very important. Also for news, for example, you have to have one main program planning tool. Today, in the past, there was a program planning tool for radio and one for TV. And the both are totally different. The TV guys have other headlines, and the radio guys have other headlines, and so on. But the customer was confused. Which headline is now on, and therefore we decided we have now one program planning for radio, TV, and also for multimedia. And our customer knows very well, okay, the news, it is not depending on radio or TV, it's the same. We want to create a common production platform and an intelligent exchange system between the systems. And we have to create a step-by-step transition. It is not possible. It is not possible to make one big system. We will fail. My experience was always, it is very good if you make a situation. You must have an idea about the systems, but you will bring it step by step in the system integration. Not all one system and you will switch on. It is not right. You have too much software. You have too much different modules and so on. Okay, and now you see the objectives of the IPS. Also, we want to create a tri-media environment. We want to find the barriers to the success. The human resources, it's very important to speak with your staff and so on. One content management system, I told you, is very helpful, and the interoperability between radio, TV, and multimedia is necessary. Otherwise, you will fail. For the influencing the industrials, the manufacturer, and so on, I think it is very helpful to go to the European Broadcast Union, and you have forced to discuss with the manufacturers. I think it's very helpful. I think also EBU has a very good cooperation with TV Turbo.
Yes.
Yes, it is very helpful to go together to the manufacturers and so on. Okay, and yes, the change management is very important. You have to make a change management. You have to install this. The management have to make decisions, and then they have to discuss with the staff and so on. But not from the staff to the management, from the management to the staff. And the management have to make a decision. Okay. The plan. How should you join the project and how? I told you that it is possible for you to have access to the information, to the documents and so on. Joining the project is very simple. You have to contact Mr. Hans Hoffmann of EBU. This presentation, all the documentaries I have on the PC will be on your server from that, I think.
Yes.
Okay, and you have access to.
Now is live on air. It's on air, right? That's on, né?
Yeah.
But we will transmit maybe. Você sabe o horário que vai ser transmitido amanhã? Bom, vai ser geral, vai ser colocado no.
Já está no ar.
Está no ar. Tá.
Okay, everything and different information you can have on this server.
Okay,
Yes, and once again, it is very necessary. It is an interdisciplinary framework and objectives between radio, TV guys, and also programming guys, and also technical guys, and so on. Organizational, change management, users, and technology matters, and so on. Okay, and now, yes, I'm German, and I have a lot of colleagues of EBU. They support me very hard. And the next step will be end of February. It's a first official announcement to everybody. We have a very big session in Germany, FKTE, VDE, and so we will present first the different what we have learned, what we have done, and so on. We will give to the audience. It is now for everybody. Okay, and we have a lot of members now in this project. Today there are 84 members of ABU are working in this project. They give information, they collect information, they will compromise this information. I think it is running very well. Now I have another presentation. Can we switch over? We can do it very shortly. You see, this is an official look and feel of CPU. Everything was here is written. I told you. Okay. It's very new. IMPS has now 90 EBU members that are joining this project and so on. And we have installed now 2 subgroups. One subgroup is for the technical issues. It's very helpful to bring all the different technical issues in one group. And one group is the editorial subgroup. Why? It is very helpful to discuss with editor people and with the programming guys. We want to know which kind of workflows they prefer, which kind of functionality they prefer, and so on. And after this process is finished now, I have the results. And now we go to the technical subgroup. What you have to do in the equipment. Yes. First, you have to know what is your effort, what to do, which kind of purpose, and so on to create. And then we want to measure and conform this. This is an official EBU process. And after this process, I think I will come to you and everybody else, and we will present what you can do in the process from analog to digital. Now we have visited Radio Bremen. YLE is a radio and TV company in Finland. VRT is a radio and TV company in Belgium. Also RTBF is also a company for radio and TV in Belgium. And we are going, have done a network and learn seminar. We have created findings, and we have a new technical architecture. I will come together. The journalist tools and the job changing. As we know now very well what editors and the program guys are needing. Change in audience. I have told you audience behavior, need for tailored content. Tailored content is very, very helpful for the different business. Different business, not also for the public broadcaster, also for the private broadcaster. Your private broadcaster want to earn money, and I think it is very important to know what the customer want to have. Then we can earn money. Yes, and very, very important. We have seen in the different companies, the management must speak with one voice. It is totally crazy if the different layers of the management speak with another information and so on. It's crazy. It will fail. And the move under one roof that is necessary if you want to be more efficient and so on. Yeah, you need to create inspiring visions, understand the business of the news. Yes, we have now very, very hard and strong inputs. Take care of the management, think and understand people. Yes, okay, you have to discuss together. Not only blah, blah, blah. You have to you make very, very good sessions and so on. And if you start with this process, I think it could go very, very easily. Show profiles and are changing. Yes, you know, when you do you operate also radio?
The group has written, but we have to
Okay, you have separated. In the beginning of the analog, I think it was 1970 approximately. It was for the radio people. They have the portable tape from Nagra.
Yes.
Do you know this?
Yeah.
Yes. And you know the guy who has developed the Nagra, it was Kudelski. Mr. Kudelski now died. He was 84 years old, but he was one impressive guy. I loved him. So he has had vision and so on, but everything was analog. And the transition from analog to digital production facilities, it was about in 1980, 1985 and so on. And the Nagra was a big console. And now our reporter has only maybe an iPhone. They make interviews with the iPhone, not only on voice, also with pictures and so on. It was a totally hard transmission from analog to digital. And I remember my staff, they are producing radio and so on, they have a lot of problems. Oh, I have no tape, how I can move in the server, I cannot see anything and so on. It takes about 10 years from analog to digital. Now everything in the radio broadcasting is digital. You have no tape. And the TV companies also in Bavaria and also in Germany, they have also only digital producing facilities, server. So it's a totally different workflow. Okay. Yes. This is also very important. If you want to lose customers, you will reduce quality. It is not the way. I think we have to prevent the quality of the content, not of the technique quality. It's also very important, but the quality of the content. And we have a lot of discussions with editors and so on. What is the quality? What you understand about the quality of the content? And mostly we have seen it is not a technical problem. It is a problem from the editor and from the programming guys. But we have seen also it is very helpful. We are exclusive with our content in the market. It's a must. Yes, we have learned to keep the dialogue, and you have to define workflows together. No other way. Yes, we have to take the advantage of the new technologies. Technology is an enabler for fast use, for sports production and so on. You have to analyze workflows and so on. And you have to develop a very clear vision what is the new workflow. You must do this. It is terrible if you go and say, okay, we start with a project, it is not running. At first you must have a very clear vision, and then I think you are very successful. In technology, I told you issues of the interoperability and the standards. It's very, very important. Then a common member needs ask for interface definitions. How, metadata. You have a discussion about metadata in your company?
Yes,
we do. Metadata is a crazy job, but I think you have to do this. If you want to be successful, you have to make a very clear discussion and this decision about metadata. In the EU, we have now a standard of metadata. It's very clear, and you can use this. Yeah, and very strong EU voice to the industrial, together with better content from different platforms. This is our goal. And now, what is the next going on? We are looking forward to a workshop at the SWR in Germany company. Also in Danish radio in June and July, and in autumn we will have a meeting with the BBC guys. The BBC company, I do not know what do you know about BBC? BBC had made a decision for 3 media, for news and sports, I think 5 years ago, and now they have a very big complex building. They are only for news and sports. It's very impressive. If you have a chance to visit this, you should do it. It's very impressive. All the guys, they are planning, they are managing metadata, they are managing archives and so on. They are under one roof. It's very important. Okay, we have now meetings at the NAB and IBC with the vendors. We have also standard work for the manufacturers and so on, and of course best practice for the EBU members. How to join it? Tech, EBU, IPS, contact Hans Hoffmann. He is the head of the Media Fundamentals and Production. I'm the German, and now I will finish my presentation. Thank you for your attention. If you have questions, do it. Thank you.
We have some customers in Brazil.
Sorry?
We have some customers in Brazil, and they are facing exactly the same problem that everybody else around the world with the media formats. And we are looking for really nice solutions of up and down conversion.
Yeah.
That looks like to be the answer for that. If you could improve a little more in the stage where they are, we may be able to transmit very fast and very condensed material.
Yeah.
In the other place, the guy can convert it to whatever format they want.
Yes.
And so I don't know how advanced it is, these technologies, or if the EU is talking with the companies that are developing this up and down conversion.
I think this question is very important. We have not only an EBU network, we have also a network together with other companies. You know, you will have the football competition 2014. My guys from ARD now have the first steps. We have some contacts with TV Globo. I think you are the main broadcaster here in Brazil. And we are now in discussion together, and also with the EBU, how we can do it, how we can influence the manufacturers and the industry to do it. Because it is very crazy. Also in Germany, I told you we are 9 independent broadcasters. We have to make exchange from material, from audio, from video, and so on. And also the same problem, up and down converting. The problem is more stronger when you see we have HD and now we have maybe 4K and everything. It is very, very necessary. Do you have a business card?
Yes.
Okay, give me the business card and we keep in contact. Okay, thank you.
Is there any number about the connectivity of the television series in these countries in the EU? How is developing this connectivity with this new television series in Germany and the other countries? I know that in England, for example, they have the Videoscape and Cisco solution that is growing up, but what do you think about this solution? Not when you look at terrestrial and the satellite, but
I think it's not, maybe not only one solution. Maybe you have two solutions and so on. The discussion is not finished yet. It's a problem. You have to discuss in the different contribution and distribution networks. It's quite different. But the problem is, always you have to spend a lot of money if the bandwidth is very, very big. You have to spend a lot of money. Also for satellite networks, and also for terrestrial network also. But there are a little bit the discussion between the manufacturers and the broadcaster. We are not in the same boat now. But I think if we have the same idea, we discuss the same, we should go to the manufacturer together. It should be possible. For the terrestrial network, with transmitting station and so on, in Germany we have now DVB-T. DVB-T is, we have not so many functionalities with your system. The DVB group has a new solution, it's DVB-T2. DVB-T2 is more flexible and so on, but also you have different formats and so on. And the discussion in Germany is running now. We have our customer DVB-T, and we have to change from DVB-T to DVB-T2. And I do not know when this process will be started. It's a critical process. We know from the technical side, from the engineering side, DVB-T2 is more better than DVB-T. I know we have to migrate, but it is not an easy work because so many devices are in the market. In Germany we have about 25 million DVB-T devices, and these devices are not compatible with DVB-T2. It's a problem, but I think there is no way we have to change.
About the HBB-TV standard,
Yeah.
Is it ready and being used, or is it still under development?
Both. It is ready, you can use, and the manufacturer are using this, but some, like Samsung, they do not enable it in the set. Why? There is a problem about licensing. There is a problem for the tests you have to make. If you want to install in your TV set HBTV, you have to make a software routine, and the software routine must be tested, because if you are a broadcaster and give information about HBTV, you must be sure that this information will reach your customer. But if the TV set is not able to do it, it's crazy. Therefore, you have to make a lot of tests. One. The next point is the licensing problem. And I think so many manufacturers have installed the HBTV, but not everybody, not every device is enabled to do it. That's the problem. Smart TV is also a standard, but mostly used by Samsung, for example. I have to make also a smart TV for my customer. I do not know which customer is buying Samsung, which customer is buying Philips, which customer is buying every Sony, and so on and so on. So I have to serve different layers. It's crazy, totally crazy. But I think HBTV now they are coming. But I'm not sure when it is finished. Okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay. Looking forward to see you at the NAB, maybe?
I'm sure I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be IBC, some closer relationship, I'm sure, then maybe we can meet you.
Okay. Okay. Another question. Which kind of satellite operator do you prefer?